it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Monday. I'm Brandon Beam, hanging out tonight with Patrick Murphy, our guy, and of course, Nate Dogg behind the glass. Murph Dog, happy Monday to you, buddy. Bringing home 3 points from Cincinnati. Looking good in your crew retrofit tonight.
Yeah, it was a good time this weekend.
I bet.
They won, so that made it even better. But, yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, it's always good to have you, my friend. Yeah, we'll get to the soccer in a little bit. We'll wait to recant your great tales from Cincinnati. We'll do that a little bit later on here in the show. How you feeling, all right? You good? Have you rebounded? Because I was talking to my neighbor a little bit yesterday who's a diehard Crew fan. Went on the Noron tour, took the bus, left from Lower.com Field, got down to Cincinnati. I know you saw him as well, but
He'd had a couple already.
he had sent me a couple of pictures, and I could tell that he was already enjoying himself. And we saw him yesterday around, 10:30. We had a little pool outside, filled it up with water.
Nice.
We were hillbilly water slide, just a tiny, a little Tykes red slide into a small pool of water. And he walked outside. I'm like, how you feeling today, buddy? And he looked at me. He's like, I feel awful. My throat is killing me. My head is killing me. I feel like I could puke at any minute. But we brought back 3 points, which is all that matters. I'm like, you're damn right.
Right. I actually felt all right yesterday. I was tired. We stayed up late, but it was not too bad. I drank a lot of water. We got back to the Airbnb, drank a lot of water, had some Taco Bell.
Nice. That's always a good idea.
Yeah. So
Live Mas.
Exactly.
La
so,
vida mas fina.
Had I slept a little bit more, I would have felt really good. But other than that, it was a successful weekend.
Good. Well, glad you had a great time. Brought back 3 points for the lads. We got a great show lined up for you here this evening. Get into a little bit of Conner Stallions right off the jump. He was tweeting again today, so we'll do that coming up here in our next segment. Got a couple of guests for you here tonight. Our guy, Mick Walker from Letterman Row. He's going to join the program at 6:30. We'll talk some Buckeye Cruton with him. Pat, what are you most looking forward to the Big Ten Media Days? You're going out to Vegas next week. We'll do that coming up here around 6:46 this evening. Do the Pulse, of course, at 7 o'clock. A legend could be returning, allegedly, to the college football sidelines. And then 7:30 this evening, our great friend, Joshua Perry. He's going to join the program a little bit later on. Start off today, and I know that you and I were both watching this a little bit earlier. I was doing it while William was napping. Down in Atlanta, we got SEC Media Days going this week, Big Ten Media Days out in Vegas starting next week. And how much of this did you watch, Pat? Because I watched Greg Sankey's press conference at the very beginning, the whole State of the Union, right? State of the League, talking about different things. And then I saw Lane Kiffin's. Was Lane first? Because I was doing something in between Greg Sankey and then when they brought Lane Kiffin out. But I watched those two gentlemen, and then I had to turn it off.
I think Billy Napier was in between there. But, yeah, I just kind of had it on. When I saw somebody I was interested in hearing about on the TV, I unmuted it. But, I was working in between doing some stuff, writing. But, yeah, look, I think the SEC Media Days is always interesting to me, at least to some degree, because – I know some others have started, but this just feels like, hey, we're underway now.
Yeah,
Next week we'll be out in Vegas for Big Ten Media Days.
Mm-hmm. We had Big 12 Media Days last week.
Right.
We talked about that just a little bit.
Right, and that's unfortunate that the conference has been dragged down by teams leaving.
Hey, don't let Brett Yormark hear that, because he says that we're the deepest, most competitive conference in America.
Well, and that might be true.
It's awesome to watch. They put on a great product.
Yes, but do you have the national title? And that's what we're ultimately talking about, right or wrong, throughout most of the season. Who's going to be in the playoff? Who's a legitimate threat? And obviously, we know the SEC is. I did think Lane Kiffin was one of several people who brought this up today of just and I know you saw my tweet, but the our conference, it's so deep. Every week is the toughest game.
It was just too much. It was
same.
Too much. People don't realize road games down here. And I'm like, there's some tough places to play in the Big Ten. That's what makes college football great. But just the way that he was going on about it, I'm like, Lane, I've got to turn you off. I have to turn the TV to another station or just turn the entire thing off. I'm like, you're blowing way too much smoke up the conference butt right now.
Right.
It was outlandish.
Well, and then it cuts to Feinbaum, who we've discussed on here, and sort of their crew. And I get it. They have a job to do. They're there at SEC Media Day. It's ESPN. They're the SEC broadcast network. So I understand why. We'll hear similar things from the coaches at the Big Ten about how every week is a slugfest and all that. And there is some truth to it, but both conferences have teams that you just know you're going to be able to roll. Even if you are a middle-of-the-road team, there are teams like Purdue recently has been that team in the Big Ten. Indiana,
the past couple of years bad.
Yes. So it happens. The SEC has bad teams too. Now, look, the talent, you look at the recruiting rankings and things like that, maybe the bottom is better than a lot of other conferences, but I don't think it's that much different from the Big Ten, especially now with some of the other teams. I mean, Washington was not good last year.
No.
I bet Washington.
The year before that, they came off a college football playoff berth.
Exactly. And I think by the end of the season, Washington could have contended in like the lower middle of the SEC, and they started to play some better ball. So I think that, you got to say it. I get it. It would be nice if everyone played the same number of games. I know that was a big topic. I know Ryan Days brought it up that he thinks every conference should play the same number of conference games. But I
agree with that.
But it's just so difficult to play in the SEC, Bean.
Yeah, I know it is. And the best part that stood out about Lane Kiffin, who's like, we play 9 games this year in Mississippi. I'm like, wow, tough schedule there, buddy. 9 games in your own state. Yeah, really going to be tough. Those 3 road games that you got out of state lines is going to be extremely difficult. Yeah, it was too much. I don't even know why I turned it on to watch. It just enraged me a little bit here this morning. So I'm glad we kicked things off in Atlanta with SEC Media Days. We'll get to some of that in the pulse with what was said down there. But yeah, Lane Kiffin, it's just an incredible. I'd love to see any other college football team in America play our schedule. But you know what? We can't. All right? You can't do that. This isn't make-believe land. You belong in a conference. Other teams belong in their respective conferences. We just can't swap schedules. If there was a idea to swap schedules and take, like, I don't know, name your random Big Ten team and name your random SEC team and just swap them for a year. Remember the show Wife Swap? Just do that for a year and just see what happens. I'd be all in for that.
Big Ten did all right playing their schedule in January.
Yeah, they did. And then they would tell you, meaningless bowl games. We weren't in the college football playoffs, so those games don't matter. Don't let facts get in the way, Nate. Don't let that happen. Just saw this that came down not too long ago, a little bit earlier this afternoon, Pat. Former Ohio State wide receiver Garrett Wilson is getting a monster payday. This came from Shefty. ESPN sources, Jets and wide receiver Garrett Wilson reached agreement on a 4-year, $130 million contract extension. It includes 90 guaranteed, and it marks the first time in NFL history that a receiver has an average of only $31 million a year after playing only 3 seasons. He's now under contract for the next 6 seasons through 2030. Good job, Garrett Wilson. The Jets are a disaster, just one of the worst-run professional sports organization. I'm glad to see at least he's having some success.
Absolutely. And you look at the numbers, Garrett Wilson's been pretty ridiculous through his career.
That surprise you at all?
No, it does not. He was pretty ridiculous at Ohio State. I would love to see him with some bona fide quarterback play. I know he got Aaron Rodgers a little bit, but you're obviously getting a different Aaron Rodgers than once upon a time.
We'll see what Justin brings this year. Yeah,
279 receptions, 3,249 yards, only 14 touchdowns, which is a little weird because he was catching touchdowns at Ohio State. So, yeah, I think well-deserved. Look, the next guy's going to exceed this, and it's just going to keep going. I think he is the 6th highest paid wide receiver.
5th in average. Okay. DK Metcalf is 4th with a new deal that he signed with the Steelers at $33 a year. A.J. Brown is 6th at $32. Garrett Wilson sandwiched right in between at $32.5.
Okay, there you go.
It's a good job out of him, though. Yeah. I am interested to see them this year. Obviously got a brand new coach. I got a new quarterback. I'm not usually like a big Jets football guy, especially like the last couple of years with Aaron Rodgers, and then he tears his Achilles and then comes back, and they were kind of just been a disaster for forever. But yeah, I mean, best of luck. They're going to be one of my more intriguing NFL teams to watch because they got Buckeyes all over the place up there.
Yeah, and it is you got 2 teams in New York. Neither have been good. I think
no, they haven't.
You'd like one of those teams in the major markets to at least be competitive.
Says right? Who?
Well,
do you really?
Yeah, says who?
I don't know.
But I'll give you this, Pat.
You're going to see those guys on TV anyway. I'd rather it be competitive games than not competitive.
It is weird. I don't hold like the hatred for the Giants and the Jets in the same esteem that I hold like the hatred for the Yankees or the Mets. You know what? Like it just feels different. I don't know if that's because
there's no reason to care about the Jets. Why?
Yeah, there's not. There hasn't been a reason to really care about the Jets. And then the Giants, it's the same thing. Like Daniel Jones took you to the playoffs, and then you gave him a massive contract, and now he's not the starting quarterback, and he doesn't even play for your team anymore. But to your point, I don't really care about the New York football teams.
No. But they're going to be on TV. You're going to hear about them, especially the Giants and that division and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and look, I think when the Giants have won Super Bowls, they haven't even really been that good. They've been good enough to get into the playoffs.
They've been dynasty busters is what they've been.
Yeah. But the Jets, I mean, I know they had a little bit of a run there when the defense was dominant under who was that head coach? The big
the feet guy, Buddy Ryan's son, Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
There you go. So they were fun then a little bit if you liked hard-nosed defensive football. But neither of those teams have been great. It would be nice to see with Garrett and some of those guys, some of the Buckeyes there, to have some success.
Yeah, it absolutely would be. Go Justin, go Garrett. Other than that, don't care about New York football. Conner Stallions may just be posting his way through some of his own problems. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit oda.org.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny, warm and humid, light winds, and just the risk of a shower or storm on this Monday. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Overnight will fall back down to around 70 degrees with light winds and mainly clear skies. During the day Tuesday, a little warmer and a bit more humid, and again the chance of a late day shower or storm. Highs near 90 degrees. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martins.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
It's a really well-timed rejoin because we're getting ready to talk about a former Michigan staffer, and I had to take Willie to the dentist today. It was not... It went about as you would expect it would go for a almost and a half-year-old. Like, we prepped him the whole morning. It was at 11:30. Like, we knew that we were going to go to the dentist. We started prepping him last night. Like, hey, tomorrow you're going to the dentist. And he doesn't really know what the dentist does, you know? So we're like, well, she's just going to help you clean your teeth is what we're going to do. And it's not too far away for our house. But, like, noon is nap time. Like, we try to have him down by noon, 12:15. 11:30 is usually lunchtime. So, like, we knew this was going to be a potential disaster on our hands. So we get in the car, we get ready to go to the dentist. We're walking inside. Luckily, this place has nice artwork on the walls, and he was loving it. Nice dental hygienist comes out. William, it's your turn. You know, they're awesome. Like, kid dentists are fantastic. They're great. They got TVs up there. You got Bluey on, little Spider-Man action. Like, whatever you want to pick, they're good. Walk into the dentist. Fine. Turns the corner, sees the chair that he's going to sit in, and just freaks out. Like, just has a total meltdown, screaming, hollering. We finally calm him down a little bit. There's some toy trucks in the corner that he's playing with.
Nice.
Dental hygienist walks back in, like, okay, it's time to get up on your. Do you want mom or dad to hold you? Of course, mommy. I'm like, all right, yep. Saw that coming from a mile and a half away. So Meredith is sitting there, tilts William back. The hygienist is brushing his teeth. And he's doing fine. Did fine. Got back up. Was good. Playing with the trucks a little bit. Actual dentist comes in to put some fluoride in or, you know, whatever that she's doing. And all they're doing is brushing his teeth. Like, it's not like he's having a procedure. Getting him back into the chair and into the position was like something you'd never seen. Right. Like, you would have thought that he was getting 4 root canals at one time. The amount of screams that he was letting out of his body. It was a disaster. And she only had him down there for like 45 seconds. Then she was done. And then he got back up. See you, dentist. Thanks. I'm like, what are you doing, man? It was a nightmare.
Between stories like that from you or other of my friends that have children, it's just like, I don't know how you people do it. I don't know. You
do it for the love of the game, Pat.
I guess.
Yeah.
You got to really love that game.
Well, and you realize that you're responsible for another human being. I'm not very responsible myself.
Well, yeah, that's my problem.
So to be responsible for another human, it's like, you should probably take care of your teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, this is probably something that we should like put on the calendar. So yeah, that was the dentist part of the story. Now we'll get to the Michigan part of the story. So this was from Brett McMurphy a couple of days ago. We actually had this in the Pulse, but we weren't able to get to it. Said after 2022 college football playoff pairings were announced, TCU head coach Sonny Dykes and his staff were inundated with phone calls, texts. Some offered congratulations, but several were different. They wanted to warn TCU about the challenge of playing Michigan. Specifically, the coaches shared what they had experienced, Michigan's sophisticated sign-stealing system. Because of the feedback they received from the other coaches, Dykes and his staff decided to change their play calls leading up to the semifinal. TCU was a 7.5-point underdog, and they beat Michigan 51-45, which was a crazy game, if you remember back to it. Just nuts. Here's what Sonny Dykes had to say, told On 3 from Big 12 Media Days last week. We had some intel that the sign stealing not scandal at that point, that the sign stealing was going on. Look, everybody does it to an extent, but we had some intel that was kind of next level there. His solution, we changed some signs, we left some the same. We found out early enough before the game where we could change a lot of our signals, then we had some dummy signals and some things where we checked the dummy signal that we knew that they knew. So they were kind of playing the games with Michigan, like, hey, we know you know our signs. We're going to change them up a little bit, see how fast it is for you to be able to decipher the new ones. We got some favorable matchups because of that. And yeah, there were some big plays in the game. So that was kind of the crux of the article that came out last week from On 3 of Brett McMurphy, that Sonny Dykes said, we knew that they were stealing signs. And then you look at the game and be like, boy, how did TCU beat Michigan that year with all of this going on? And then TCU turns around in Georgia 10 days later and gets absolutely smoked. So, it raises some eyebrows while we're in the very, very quiet period right now of the NCAA. I don't know if they're deliberating, whatever it is.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows what they're doing over there. But that raised some eyebrows. And then today, I actually saw this. Conner Stallions is just tweeting through his problems. So Brett McMurphy had posted this on Twitter. And he said, to be, quote, tipped off that your next opponent is good at stealing signals is like saying that you were tipped off that you had an upcoming game. Okay, I understand that. Everyone does it to an extent. Okay, I understand that. Here's where Conner Stallions gets a little messy.
Are you going to read this whole thing?
Yeah, I'm going to read the whole thing because I feel like, Pat, listen, I am not going to provide anybody out there legal advice. But what I've heard from friends that are in the legal system, that if you're under any bit of investigation, the last thing that you should be doing is taking to a public forum and tweeting about what you were doing to lead yourself into an investigation. All right? Just don't talk. Don't say anything. Don't post.
He can't do that.
I know. You can't. You're not supposed to post.
It's 472 words, this tweet, which used to be only 250 words.
Did he add to it?
No, I'm saying tweets used to only be able to go, well, you had 140, then you had 240, and now you can pay your way to do more.
Now you can pay $8 a month and you can just tweet out paragraphs. So here's what Conner Stallions said about this whole story that came out, which Sonny Dykes had already alluded to that like last year, I think.
This is not new.
This is not new that he knew this was going on. But of course, it's really a slow time in college football. So this is what we're going to do. He said, to save everybody's time so we can move on from the same recycled story from Coach Dykes, I'll provide some more details and we can wrap this up. Don't do that. Don't take to Twitter for any of your problems. We lost because we turned the ball over and had a poor game tackling. TCU played well. Congratulations. The same way we won the Natty, quote, when I was not with the program, because we blocked well, tackled well, and took care of the rock. Welcome to the game of football. Since people are so intrigued by the signals, this is where he starts to get into maybe some murky waters. The entire air raid communication system is the offensive coordinator signaling to the quarterback, then the quarterback signaling to the receivers, USC, TCU, et cetera. It's all the same. They're all the same signals, too. TCU kept everything from the quarterback to the coordinator the same, but had dummy signals and some signals from quarterback to wide receivers. But that didn't matter because I'm watching the coach and seeing what they changed in real time, similar to Ohio State, quote, changing their signals. They changed their route concepts and some run concepts, not their formations and pass protection signals, which is all I cared about. To say anyone fooled me is admitting you have no idea how signal deciphering and protecting works. No team has ever changed their signals, meaning they don't recycle the same signal to have a different meaning because it would confuse the 18-year-olds that are on the field more than it would confuse me. They simply just create new signals. And if I see a new signal, I'm not guessing what it means. There were games where I relayed information 0% of the time, all the way through 99% of the time. Now, I feel like that might be an issue. Right? Don't you feel like that might be an issue where you said that you're deciphering it 99% of the time? Can you see a problem with that while you're tweeting while you're under investigation?
Yes, that does seem problematic.
No one is forcing you to signal. Rutgers and Minnesota huddled, didn't signal. Nebraska didn't signal until the second quarter when they were down 14-0. Even we, Michigan, don't signal on offense. If you don't want teams stealing your signs, then don't signal. Any team that signals on offense is trying to force the defense to signal so they can steal it. There's really no other advantage unless you're trying to prevent a sub or it's 2 minutes. If that were true, you'd see the entire NFL go up tempo to find advantages, but you don't. And it's still going on today in college and coach comms. Notice how teams still signal because they're going up tempo. The glorious attempt to correlate signals to any wins and losses at Michigan is funny. There were 7 games in my time at Michigan where I knew almost every signal the whole game. Then he lists off the games. We lost 3 of those games because we didn't tackle well, and Georgia was historically good. We won the other 4 games because we dominated the line of scrimmage and tackled well, blocking, ball security, tackling, run fits, and coverage tools. That's football. This is not rocket science. Dude, you got to just lay off Twitter. Like, you just can't. You can't say anything.
He can't help himself, though, and that's been the problem this whole time. He wants to talk. We've
the
seen
whole
it.
documentary about
He wants credit for it.
He does.
He wants the credit.
You're right, Nate. He wants credit. He loves Michigan. Like, he loves it. If you watch the documentary or the one-sided documentary about it, like, he would give life and limb for the University of Michigan.
Right.
In his football coaching career, he did. He did give life and limb because he's never getting a job in college again. Right. I'd be hard-pressed to imagine.
Yeah, well, and I mean, let's be clear. Conner Stallions isn't a coach. I mean, he went to try and do that after the Michigan thing blew up, and he went to high schools and whatnot. But he was on a staff, but he's not out there coaching the players, to my understanding. And I don't know if that is even what he wants to do. Maybe had things gone differently, he could have worked his way up, a la Keenan Bailey, who we spent last week talking a lot about. But
there's plenty of guys who find themselves on staff who aren't in a coaching role.
Yeah,
you just get in the building, and then all of a sudden, 5-10 years down the road, where you've moved to 18 different locations, you find yourself as like an actual coach.
Right. And so if he wanted to do that, I think you're right. That's out of the window. But I don't know what he thinks he benefits from here, other than either wanting credit or I just have to clear my name. I have to clear my name. I have to get everybody to believe my side of the story. And look, clearly you did something wrong here, or else the program wouldn't still be under investigation and you would still be able to work there.
Like, the sign stealing thing is one thing.
Right.
When you're sending other people and going to games yourself, that's the entire issue. Yeah. He's not under investigation for trying to decipher signs on the sideline across the field. No. That's not what you're under investigation for. That's perfectly legal. And every team does it.
And that's the line that he doesn't seem, either he won't admit, as we saw in that documentary, where he refuses to talk about it, or he denies it subtly like this, saying it doesn't make any difference, which has been his story the whole time. But if it doesn't make a difference, then why are you doing it?
Some good Buckeye fan also responded to this and said, hey, Conner, if you provided no value to your team, why did you intentionally break NCAA violations? Why did you get a game ball if you offered no value? Which he said basically that he offered no value in that string of tweets. Certainly is worth going in disguise and sneaking on the Central Michigan sideline, right? And he responded to the Ohio State fan.
Oh, boy.
He said, hey, I'd love to answer your questions, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to discuss the details of an ongoing NCAA investigation. And answering any of those questions would directly be doing exactly that. You already did it.
Right. You wrote 472 words on Twitter about it.
I'm looking forward to being able to address those questions, in quotations, if they've not already been answered by the NCAA. Once this is wrapped up and I'm allowed to speak on it, glad the truth will finally emerge. It sounds like you already did speak on it.
He wants everyone to say he was in the right.
He does. That
is what he wants.
Yeah, he does. He wants everybody to say, okay.
Michigan won a national title because of you. Thank you, Conner Stallions, is what he wants.
Yes. Thank you very much. So anyways, keep an eye out on his Twitter account because I'm sure that he's going to continue posting through all of his issues. I found very much enjoyment out of that. Like, just totally contradicting what you had said in your 6 paragraphs and then an answer to an Ohio State fan. I'm not available to talk about it.
Right.
It's just crazy. Our guy, Mick Walker from Letterman Row, going to talk some Buckeyes recruiting with us coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. Give Bath R Us a ring. Call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
As a former pro athlete, confidence has always been key for me on and off the field. And that's why I chose CAP for my NeoGraft treatment. They've got a great reputation. After doing my research, I knew I could trust the team right here in town. The staff was professional, answered every question, and made the whole process smooth and stress-free. The results are natural. It fit my busy schedule, and I already feel more confident. CAPS made it easy, judgment-free, and honestly, one of the best decisions I've made. Visit CAPS today at experiencecaps.com.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Coming up 1 hour away from right now at 7:30, the venerable Joshua Perry. He's going to join the program. We'll talk about a little Buckeye fall camp, a little Big Ten media days with him. As for now, though, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Check with our great friend of Letterman Row. He is Mick Walker. Mick, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. Before we jump into some Buckeye talk, like you're one of the best guys in the Ohio State beat following recruiting. We'll get to that in a second. But as much as you're into recruiting, you're even a bigger soccer guy. I mean, you can break down the X's and O's. What did you think of Wilfried Nancy's strategy after going 2-0 down for the Crew on Saturday down in Cincy?
Yeah, I mean, Pat and I talked about it all June at camp. Just my admiration for the game. You know, I just really appreciate what Wilfried Nancy does, the intensity he brings to the pitch every week and every game. So getting to see that in hell is real. It was a great win for the Crew.
That was a remarkable answer.
It really was, Mick. That's a A+. That's a great job out of you, because you even texted me today. You're like, hey, are we talking any soccer? I said, only if you want to. And you said, I think I'll leave that to you and Pat. What's been going on in the recruiting trail, Mick? I saw a little updated in the recruiting rankings, some guys shooting up the leaderboard for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, Rivals today, after following the merger with On3 earlier this month, we released the first On3 Rivals 300. Sorry, getting used to you changing the lingo for the rankings. But, yeah, Sam Greer, the four-star offensive tackle from Akron-Hoban, he jumped up in the rankings, number 14 overall. He's now the highest-ranked prospect in Ohio State's class, according to Rivals. And I've said it before, and I think I've said it on this program even. Sam's the best offensive tackle prospect to come out of Ohio since Paris Johnson. So to get him, to see that he's finally getting recognized after a couple injuries to start his high school career, awesome for him. Awesome to have Kari Wilder, the four-star defensive end from California, jump up as well. Obviously, that's been a point of contention, a position of contention for Ohio State fans this summer. So just to see the guy that they currently have committed while they chase some other guys get bumped up to top 50 kid, that's a big one for the Buckeyes as well.
Mick, I see Buckeye fans on various message boards, social media, complaining about this Ohio State recruiting class, which I think most have right around the top 5, if not in there. Why are people upset from what you see, and maybe why should or shouldn't they be?
I think it's a little bit of habits, and it's a little bit of just frustration with how NFL or the NIL game is kind of going. At this point, it's kind of become a habit. Ohio State misses out on their top edge targets when it comes to just NIL recruitment. This year it was Carter Meadows. In the past, it's been Dylan Stewart. We can go on and on about guys they've missed on an edge. So that's just a point of contention because they want to see it's been a minute since they've gotten the JT Tuimoloau out, and obviously him and Jack are now out of the program, so there's no 5-star caliber defensive ends in the program. You want to get one of those guys every few years to have a guy that you're building around on that pass rush. They don't have that now, so missing out on that for a few cycles is just frustrating. And then other than that, it's just I think a lot of people expected things to really change with the national championship, and in reality, all that does is for all the programs that didn't win a national championship, now they have to go to their boosters and their athletic director and say, hey, can we have some more money so we can do what Ohio State just did? And Ohio State's saying, well, we have to pay the players that just won the national championship. Like I'm standing here at Top Golf for the Trust Downs event with Caleb Downs and his brother Josh Downs, and they're over here hosting a golf event to feed the help with the homeless. But I imagine Caleb Downs was not coming to Ohio State for free this season. Like he got compensated handsomely. So would you rather pay Caleb Downs or would you rather pay an edge prospect or a high school prospect? And that's just something Ohio State's had to balance. So the NIL dollars and just kind of the expectation after a national championship are kind of throwing people off. But overall, like you said, top 5 class, tons of talent in there. It's really nothing that people should be concerned about. It's just more picking nits at this point.
Mick, when we talk about all these NIL deals, and I know KJ Ford was one over the weekend as well. That was a Buckeye target, and he ended up committing to Florida, I believe, off the top of my head. So you missed out on him too. I kind of asked Berm this question last week, and I want to get your thoughts because you're in this world. You're in the recruiting world, and it's recruiting, and it can go any different ways, and that's why it's recruiting. Like, it's always been a little bit crazy. But, let's just take, like, Luke Wafel. Pat and I were here talking about Luke Wafel a couple of weeks ago when he was down to Ohio State and USC. Looked like he was an Ohio State lock. Then USC brought however much money to the table. When it comes to these edge rushers, or maybe it comes to, like, an offensive tackle, right? I think those are two pretty high-valued positions right now in recruiting. Do you see it calming down at all as we get into the future, or is this kind of going to be the new way of the world with these outlandish payments, you think?
Yeah, so long as it's still somewhat unmitigated, it's probably going to just kind of be the lay of the world. Like you mentioned in the future, like obviously we now have the house settlement stuff, like the rev sharing model, like some of that stuff is becoming into effect, and we have the whole NIL go and deals having to be approved. And I think Austin and Burma both talked about that on their show and on 97.1 The Fan and all the different programs they're on. But like things are just not getting approved in IOI, so then schools like USC are still using collectives, and it's kind of throwing off things. So until you get to a point where it's collective bargaining or things are more standardized and more able to be upheld and just like enforced, it's still going to be kind of unmitigated. And so that's why it takes guys like Sam Greer from in-state, or getting a guy like Ronaldo Perez out of Columbus Academy, who's a 2027 four-star edge, at the top 50 kid. Like getting those guys become all the more paramount, because if you can't get those guys out of state consistently, then you have to get the guys at home and kind of develop them a little bit better than you might be with a five-star guy out of state.
Let's talk positively. This 2026 class.
I mean, it's still a top 5 class.
Yeah. So let's talk positively about it. What should Buckeye fans like about this class? Maybe outside of some of the obvious.
Well, it's so funny to think about, because everybody loves Jeremiah Smith who's on campus. We love Carnell Tate, but at this point, like Pat said, you have the people that are on message boards on Twitter communities complaining, and it's complaining because they have 4 wide receivers, and they're probably going to get a 5th later this week when Braden Guilford, the 4-star out of Fort Wayne, commits again. So Ohio State's going, why are we taking five wide receivers when we still need an edge? And when in reality, when it comes to all this NIL stuff, you have 4-star wide receivers wanting to come to play for Brian Hartline for much less than even a 4-star edge will want to come and play for Larry Johnson. And that's not a knock on Larry Johnson. People just want to come and play for Brian Hartline. And so they're taking discounts, and so you're going to have 5 wide receivers, and 5 of them are pretty darn talented. Guilford could be one of them. You have Brock Boyd, who you flipped from TCU, Caden Dixon-Wyatt, who they beat out Oregon for in the spring, Chris Henry Jr., who is still probably, in my opinion, the best wide receiver prospect to come out of high school since Jeremiah Smith. He's just been hampered by injury, so he continues to slide down the rankings where others lift up. And then you look at that. You move on from the wide receiver class and you look at the safety class. Like, I don't think Blaine Bradford from Baton Rouge Catholic down there in Louisiana is coming to high school to Ohio State just for the love of the game. I think they took care of him as well on the NIL front, and that's why he's coming. So that's where some of your dollars get spent. Some of them go to Chris Henry Jr., the wide receiver, Sam Greer. Like, they're spending their money properly, and they're spending money at needs. Like, safety after losing Caleb Downs is a bigger need than losing your edge, because you can probably get Bo Atkinson back and maybe a Kenyatta Jackson back next year, but you can't replace Caleb Downs with another just haphazard safety. Not that Ohio State has haphazard safeties, but you need to go get some top-end talent. That's what they did in Blaine Bradford. And again, that's what they did in wide receiver position with Chris Henry Jr.
He is Mick Walker of Letterman Row with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Mick, you've been following this team and recruiting for a long while now. Is there any guys, and I'm not trying to compare anybody in this freshman class to what Jeremiah Smith did last year. That was a shooting star, one-of-a-kind phenomenon event. But are there any guys you think that got onto campus either in the winter or going to come to campus here right now in the summer portion that you think could maybe push to be an instant impact guy for this year's team?
Yeah, I think the popular one right now in the summer, just because we've gotten to kind of see him walk around to camps and people start talking about him, is Jarquez Carter, the defensive tackle out of Florida. Obviously, everybody kind of remembers Mike Hall for that Michigan State game where he had a handful of sacks and had a handful of tackle for loss. He was living in the backfield. He's quick, got off the ball, used his hands well. That's a lot of what Jarquez Carter does, and Ohio State needs a 3rd defensive tackle, maybe a 4th defensive tackle to step up. I think Jarquez Carter could be that guy. Fahim Lane at safety. If you still have Malik Hartford, TJ McClain, or Jalen McClain kind of battling for that 2nd spot, can Fahim Lane step up and kind of maybe take some playing time? Can Riley Pettijohn work in there with Arvell Reese, or maybe Sonny Styles playing a little on the outside to get some pass rush? There's a handful of guys, especially on defense, that I really like. And obviously you have Tavian St. Clair, the 5-star quarterback, who's also here at Caleb Downs events to kind of support his teammates. And I think he's somebody that's going to look good in the future. And I'm hopeful to get a couple, 4th quarter touchdown passes from him so everybody can kind of see what he was doing at Bell Fountain and why he was the 5-star quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us about this event that you're at right now. Are you participating? How's your golf swing looking?
No, I am not participating. Apparently, Caleb and Josh Downs already played around at golf earlier today. I mean, you have a who's who. I am honestly surprised Josh Perry, who we said was coming on the show later, is not here. We have Cardell Jones. You have Josh Downs, Caleb Downs, Tavian St. Clair, Devin Sanchez. Yeah, Caleb's about to come up here with the driver, and I think he was already saying that he's a little bit better than his brother at golf, and Josh agreed with that. So it's a who's who. Mickey Marotti, Mark Pantoni, Matt Guerreri, just names upon names. Jordan Woods, another freshman corner that Ohio State's really high on. All the defensive backs have kind of Jalen McLean's here as well. I believe Lee Harford's probably here or showing up soon. Everybody that you can kind of think of in this secondary, make sure to show up and support Caleb Downs as they try and raise some money for homelessness between him and his dad and his brother, just with the Trust Downs Foundation.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We'll let you go here in just a second, Mick. Is there anybody else who we should be watching out for on the recruiting trail for the Buckeyes in these coming weeks?
I mentioned Guilford coming up on Friday. That's July 18th is when he'll commit. Deron Parks is going to commit on the 26th of July. I believe it's next Saturday. He's somebody that Ohio State's recruited for a while. He's originally from Hurricane, West Virginia.
Great town name.
Cool to say. Now he's down in Hurricane country in Florida and Sarasota. So but he's been a top target for a while. He's 6'5", 340, 360 pounds. He's a big man. He's going to have to slim down a little bit when he gets to college, but he's somebody Ohio State likes as kind of as a people-moving guard and a mauler in the trenches. Obviously, they'd bring off the 5 offensive line commitments and they get that one done on July 6th, 26th, which would be welcomed after only taking 3 last year. So Tyler Bowen's done a good job in his cycle, and he can kind of get another win and later this month as well.
Mick, always appreciate the time. Thanks for popping on, my friend. Have a fantastic time at the event and enjoy breaking down the Cruise win against Cincinnati a little bit later on, all right?
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. So our good friend, Mick Walker, Letterman Row, here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. With Big Ten Media Day starting next week in Vegas, we're going to get our biggest stories of the season coming from the conference that you know and love. Next, it's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts. And for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's, gotta love more.
What does summer bring to mind? Lazy days by the pool? Hot dogs on the grill? How about large, sweaty men putting work in to defend their national title? Yes! your summer home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
Hey, something cool happening tomorrow. You can join Rothman and Ice live from the Shot as they bring you exclusive access to Buckeye basketball summer workouts. They're going to sit down with Jake Diebler, select players for inside interviews that you won't hear anyone else. Rothman and Ice live from Buckeye basketball summer workouts tomorrow, noon to 3, right here on The Fan. You're going to be over there tomorrow, too.
I should be, yeah, unless something happens.
We think they're cooking up over there for the Buckeye Hoops team. Got an intriguing season coming up.
Yeah, I think that I think it's going to be an improvement on last year. I think this roster makes a lot more sense for the way they want to play.
Mm-hmm. It did seem like they've, because we haven't seen this team play a game yet, the 25-26 Buckeyes, but it does seem in the transfer portal strategy that the pendulum swung the opposite direction of what it was last year.
Yeah. Last year they went for high upside on a lot of those guys, right? Aaron Bradshaw, Sean Stewart being the major example. You thought you were bringing back something something you're sure in with Michi Johnson. That obviously didn't work out the way you hoped.
No, it didn't.
No, not at all. Only 10 games played.
Yeah.
But I think this roster, you went more experience in the portal. You got some bigger guys. You got some guys that can stretch the court a little bit. I think they'll be able to play that more tempo pace that they want to. I think Gabe Cupps is a guy that can allow Bruce Thornton to
get a rest.
Yeah. Or just
Bruce just relax for 5 minutes.
Right. I think it was something like 6 games last year. He played 40 or more minutes.
Yeah. I think you and I were doing a show 3 or 4 weeks ago where we looked up his game log and it was like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Right. And so that plus just allowing him to play off the ball more. That was supposed to be something they were going to do with Michi last year. John Mobley, obviously a good guard, but not really the ball handler. So I think it makes a lot more sense in terms of the way Jake Diebler wants to play. Amari Bynum, the freshman that's coming in, is a guy that they really like. So it'll be interesting. He's not the tallest of big men. I think he's more of a 4 than a center, but he's a guy thick-wise, looks like he's already been in the weight program at Ohio State before he even did. So I think this roster makes a lot more sense. What's the ceiling? I don't know. I mean,
just have to wait and find out.
The crazy thing about last year, which doesn't get brought up enough, is they lost, I think, 5 games by 4 points or fewer. So that I may not be exactly right on there. I've written it a few times.
Well, they had a lot of them close down the stretch.
And if that just flips, you're in the NCAA tournament. You don't even need all those games. You need 2 or 3, and you're in the NCAA tournament because of what you did in the non-conference. So if they can do similar things in the non-conference this year, but have those Big Ten games flip in their favor, now you're probably in, and then you see what happens.
The game against Wisconsin comes to mind, Oregon here, and then Indiana. Those 3, you get 2 of those 3 to flip, or even just 1, and who knows what happens.
Lose at home to Pitt in overtime by 1.
Oh, God, I forgot about that game.
So, because, you start the season well with that win against Texas and a neutral site game and all that.
And Auburn turned out to be pretty good.
Right, so that loss doesn't look as bad. But, yeah, I think for missing a third, for as unacceptable as it is to miss a NCAA tournament for a 3rd straight season, I like what Jake Diebler is doing. Let's remember, he is a first-time head coach.
Yes, he is.
So there are going to be bumps in the road, similar to what there were with Ryan Day. Now, Ryan Day walked into a loaded football team, right?
It's very different.
Yes. So, look, when Ross Bjork decided to go this direction and say, hey, we like what we've got with Jake, we think this could be a guy who's here for 10, 15 years. He cares about this program more than anyone we're going to go out and hire. If we hire him, we don't have to pay this huge buyout to get a guy like Dusty May.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to live with some bumps.
Dusty May had a pretty good first year.
Yes, and they did go to the transfer portal, and those guys worked out. So, yes, it wasn't the best first year you could have had, but I do think he's learning from that, and the staff as well, because it's a relatively young staff other than Dave Dickerson. So I think that they learned from some of the stuff that didn't go well last year, and now you will see how they respond in year two. And I think there's at least there's clear room for improvement.
Yeah, they are, and excited to see what they bring to the table this season. Again, Rothman and Ice live from Buckeye Summer Hoops Camp. It's just camp season, man. Basketball, football, the train is starting to rev up and leave the station, which is very nice. You're going to Vegas next week.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that?
Excited. I like Vegas. Obviously, this will be a different experience. I went when I was in high school for a soccer tournament. And
you went all the way to Vegas?
Yeah, we had a club soccer tournament.
You must have been good.
Our team was all right. I was not great, but
Yes.
I just hung around.
You're pretty good, Pat.
So I'm looking at it
Got
more
a red
like
card in a rec league game, but you're pretty good.
Yeah, not just one. I'm looking at it kind of like that. I mean, granted I was in high school, so it was a little different, but more so than when I've gone for, say, bachelor parties or things. I've had a couple of people be like, ooh, like 4 or 5 days in Vegas.
Yeah,
You
but
might
it's a
be-"
work trip.
Exactly.
You got obligations and responsibilities out there.
Yes. Looking forward
Not
to
to
that.
say they haven't blown some of those off in the past, but
yeah, I'm currently here and not at the Caleb Dowds thing. So, but I think that we talked about it with SEC Media Days. Football's kicking off. That's when usually we've been in Indy or Chicago. I'm
just
interested to
smell it. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, well, it really is because we come back and it's that next week that fall camp starts. So I think A, that, and B, how they do things out in Vegas, first of all, because this is the first time we've ever gone. We've done Chicago, we've done Indy, like I said, so just how it's all set up. But then I think the intrigue for me is probably more talking to other teams about Ohio State because we've talked plenty to Caleb. We've talked to Jeremiah. We've talked to Sonny. And not that we can't get plenty out of that, but we're going to talk to him again probably not too distant future once fall camp kicks off. Of course, Coach Day will be good to pick his brain on things. Haven't talked to him since the end of spring, really. But, yeah, I always enjoy going around talking to.
You got a favorite coach in the Big Ten that you talk to?
I enjoy some of the James Franklin stuff. I can see why.
Wait, hold on. When you say stuff,
I think he's
describe the stuff.
I think he's really interesting. I just think that it can be if I were covering him on a daily basis, like with Ohio State, I think it becomes, we've said it before, kind of used car salesman pitches. But I like him. I was impressed. I always listen to PJ Fleck, just the energy that he brings.
Yeah, he's something.
And I don't know how much longer that's going to work at Minnesota because it hasn't. I mean,
just signed a contract extension.
Yeah, but
it was a 1 year.
Exactly. So yeah, PJ
He's
Fleck
perfect
is another
for that
one.
Job.
I will be interested to see how UCLA's coach, whose name's escaping me off the top of my head.
We're located in Los Angeles.
Yes. How that Deshaun Foster, that's it. How because he's admitted, Brandon Marcello, who works for CBS Sports, wrote this whole article just about he's not a big public speaker. And so he was very nervous about that. And it just didn't come off he thought it would be perceived as a joke. Okay, how's year 2? Okay, now I've done it once. I realize that's probably not the way to handle things. Probably some
I say he
coaching.
just doubles down on it.
Explains more about Los Angeles for us. So,
we're host of the 2028 Olympics. Just start giving random facts about the city.
We were founded in this year, and
it means the Angels in Spanish.
The metropolitan area. But no, it's always good. I think look again. Start of football is always fun, right? And I think a lot of what you get, especially the stuff they show on TV on the podium, is a lot of just fluff stuff. We're talking about that with the SEC, right?
Yeah.
That's what we saw.
You get the better stuff when they're sitting down at the table or at their mini podiums where you could just go with a recorder and ask whatever you want to ask, whatever you're writing.
Right.
It's a lot easier.
And the one thing I will say with Coach Day, whoever is Michigan's coach, we've been through a few of those. Just the bigger programs, those coaches get just crowded around. So it's a little bit tougher. But the players, because it's 45 minutes and there's only so, you can go around, you can really get a lot of good stuff. And sometimes it's the off-the-wall questions that give the best answers. And, or when you're asking a guy something that he hasn't been asked 12 different, if you go over and are asking a guy that plays for Michigan State that maybe came from Ohio or has some connection, if you can find those things that they'll be interested in talking about that relates back to the program you're covering, I think you can get some really good stuff out of that. I know Dan Hope at 11 Warriors always does a cool thing. I think he may not have done it last year, but in the past where he goes and talks to all the guys that Ohio State recruited that are there.
Oh, that's a cool piece.
Yeah, and I always like that. So there's a lot of things that can come out with it if you plan ahead and whatnot. But the big thing is it's the start of football. We're gonna be back. They're gonna be back on the field as soon as we get back that next week, and then we're off and running.
I can't believe you went with James Franklin.
You guys thought I was a psychopath in the past? You have no idea.
I mean,
how do you not love that, though?
I mean, I loved that, but his normal weekly press conferences are just
I don't have to cover those.
Boring.
We're done being great.
Yeah, he was right. He was right when he said it. That was an all-timer from him.
Lincoln Riley was good last year, but it was...
It's going to be a lot of pressure this year, big dog.
It was a lot of, trying to sell this, hey, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. And I was like, you're Lincoln Riley, and you're at USC. You don't have to tell
Yeah, you had two Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks at Oklahoma. You had another one with Caleb at USC. You're Lincoln Riley, man.
Also, it's always good to see Greg Schiano and Luke Fickell.
Yeah, I would advise you to ask Bert about the Illabuck this year. That would be my one question. If I could get one question from you to Vegas, because I know that Austin is going to hang out with him by the pool shirtless. We already went over that last week. But if you could also be there, ask him about the history of the Illabuck and how excited he is to vie for that fantastic college football trophy again.
I'm just going to stand up and say, I'm Patrick Murphy with 24/7 Sports, but this is from Brandon Beam from 97.1 The Fan.
He couldn't be here, but we got this question in to him regardless.
I'm going to just play this part of the
segment. Yeah, I think he would like it. I think he'd enjoy it. Could a legend be on his way back to the sidelines after calling it quits? We're going to get into that in the Pulse next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
As a former pro athlete, confidence has always been key for me on and off the field. And that's why I chose CAP for my NeoGraft treatment. They've got a great reputation. After doing my research, I knew I could trust the team right here in town. The staff was professional, answered every question, and made the whole process smooth and stress-free. The results are natural. It fit my busy schedule, and I already feel more confident. CAPS made it easy, judgment-free, and honestly, one of the best decisions I've made. Visit CAPS today at experiencecaps.com.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Ways, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Now open. Zoombezi Bay's brand new conservation tower. 3 slides, 1 tower, and endless thrills. Only at
Zoombezi Bay.
Plan your visit at ZoombeziBay.com.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Puterball. Former Ohio State Buckeye Garrett Wilson has inked a contract extension with the New York Jets, keeping him in New York through the 2030 season. The deal is worth $130 million with $90 million guaranteed and marks the first time a wide receiver has received an average over $31 million after only 3 seasons. In Major League Baseball, it's the All-Star break, and tonight at 8 o'clock, it's the Home Run Derby. Amongst the field, Cal Raleigh of Seattle, James Wood of the Nationals, Matt Olson of the Braves, and O'Neill Cruz of the Pirates. Catch festivities immediately following the Buckeye Show. In the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers extend President Kobe Altman to a contract extension, keeping him in Cleveland through the 2029-2030 season. And former NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater has been suspended from his position as high school coach at Miami Northwestern due to allegedly providing impermissible benefits to his players. Breaking sports news, what happens to the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hour number 2 for us here on this blistering Monday edition of the program. Are you a big home run derby guy, Pat? It's coming up at 8. Nate gave you a nice little breakdown of the update right there.
I usually will at least check in on it.
Yeah.
Put it on the TV if nothing else is going on. And this time of year, like, unless we decide to throw a movie on tonight or something, like, what else am I gonna? Summer League? Probably not.
Well, I know that you were really locked in Cooper Flag against Bronny last week.
I mean, that's a whole different animal. Plus we had
the Summer League.
We had 12 Coors Lights we had to get rid of.
Yeah, no, we did, and we dispatched them quite nicely.
We did. Yes.
Yeah, we did a pretty good job on that. Plus, your lovely fiance Sarah came to join us after the show, which was very nice. Yeah, I like the home run derby.
Yeah.
I'm a very simple human being. It's the same thing with like an F1 race or an IndyCar race. I like to watch fast cars go vroom vroom. I like to watch balls just get launched out of a ballpark.
Right.
Like, it's a pretty simple, when you break it down, there's not that much intricacy to it. You swing as hard as you possibly can to see who hits the ball the furthest and the most times.
I am not a big all-star game person just in general. Like, I think it's kind of
hokey.
Yeah, and just it was a good idea for a long time, but I think it's run its course. And you look at sports trying to make it different, and like the NBA is talking about, should we do the American players against the world and things like that?
I think they are going to do that, aren't they?
So for me, it's just like it doesn't interest me a ton, but something like that I think is interesting. We were talking about Mick and his expert soccer opinions. Like MLS has done like a skills challenge.
That's
like
fun.
The NBA does all that stuff.
Yeah, Wemby gets disqualified.
Yes. I think that is almost more interesting just because it's different. Instead of watching the guys just play another game, every once in a while there's a cool idea that they'll do. And I'll tune in for the NBA one when they do that probably. But for the most part, I think that other stuff around it, like the NFL and the Pro Bowl, like they've clearly just...
Well, Major League Baseball is different too because like they're actually playing the sport.
They are. And I think that's true in soccer. Somewhat basketball. You get towards the end, those guys start to go a little bit, especially they've done that draft. So now you're like, ooh, you get to team up with these guys.
Ooh, you didn't take me. What does that mean?
Yeah, right. So, but for the most part, I think the activities around it tend to interest you more, like the home run derby.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's enough derby talk.
Okay.
We'll get back into that as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour when we send you down to Atlanta for the home run derby. That's what's coming up at 8. Nate, happy Monday, my friend. What's happening?
How's it going, brothers?
Doing great, thank you.
In the Pulse today, former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy was on his show, McElroy and Kublik in the Morning. They had special guest Paul Feinbaum on with them. And Greg decided to mention that he thinks Nick Saban is coming back to football. He said, this is a little bit out of left field, but the question is asked of me, a very much in-the-know person that I have a lot of respect for and have spent a lot of time around and just really, really admire. They seem to think Nick Saban's not done coaching. I would not have said anything if it wasn't someone notable.
Ooh, that got all the headlines today, right? Nick Saban coming back. One, before I go into the story, I just think that would be ridiculous for Nick Saban to come back. I mean, the game is so different, Pat. You know it. You see it. We live it. We breathe it. We talk about it.
He hates everything about it.
Yeah, he hates everything about it. That's why he got out what he did. He's like, all right, I've won. I've won so many national championships. All right, this is a great place. Miss Terry and I, all right, are happy with the boat. All right. He slams his podium with a Coke bottle and makes it shake. But let's put our thinking hats on. Let's just take... And I don't not believe Greg McElroy. I'm sure that, he does have somebody close to him. It's like, yeah, he's probably talked about it, maybe at dinner, like, oh, I'd like to get back into coaching. Well, yeah, you're Nick Saban. You're a lifer. You're in it for life. Look at Bill Belichick. He's a lifer. Like
Urban Meyer.
Pete Carroll is a lifer. Like those guys, like they dedicate their entire life to football, and they've had very nice rewards, and nobody more on planet Earth than Nick Saban. Where would you want to see Nick Saban coach at? If it's not Bama and it's not LSU, his previous two stops, it would be so hard for me to comprehend anywhere outside of the SEC for Nick Saban. So if we're just making it up, where would if Nick Saban returned to college football?
I have an interesting idea.
Okay.
Assuming things do not go well for Michigan in the next couple of weeks.
Oh my.
Do they give Nick Saban a call?
Well, I think, don't you have to?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't anybody give Nick Saban a call?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like it's just something that you would have to do, especially if maybe a coach is already on the hot seat, or
even
that it's
if
not
things
going to work
do
out.
go well, do you still give Nick Saban a call?
That's a good point. I think that's a very fair point, Nate.
I saw a lot of people on social media today suggesting Kent State, his alma mater.
Yeah, bring him back. What about West Virginia?
He's been great.
He's a Mountaineer.
Yeah, I think this whole thing's interesting because I don't know if you saw this when you were watching SEC Media Days, but they came back from whoever was at the podium after this news got all over social media.
Was it Lane?
I think
I saw something about Lane because he was sitting on the desk with the reporters.
Well, this was just McElroy and Paul Feinbaum.
Okay.
And so they just bring it up because it's obviously gotten out there.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately backtracks, Greg McElroy. And I don't think he's coming back. And Paul doesn't think he's coming back. But
Greg McElroy, to be fair to him, in his original comments, did not say that he thinks Nick Saban is coming back. He said just a person in the know described that Nick Saban would like to get back into college football.
Yeah. But then Paul Feinbaum, who they made clear, talks to Nick Saban daily, and he picked up his phone and was like, call you back, coach, was like, I don't see it. So I think it'd be interesting, though, and I get it. I mean,
there's no chance that he's coming back.
Nick Saban returns to Sparty to bring them back to glory.
There you go. That's a good deal. What's Jonathan Smith's buyout? Doesn't matter. Who cares? We're calling Saban to bring you back.
What if this Matt Patricia thing's only a one-year deal? You bring him back to Ohio State to be the DC, kind of rehab his image after he says a lot of swear words on ESPN. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that would work pretty good.
Yeah, him and Ryan Day.
What if the Brown season doesn't go as well? No, I know that this isn't college football, but Kevin Stefanski finds himself out of a job. You bring him back home, bring him to Cleveland.
Yeah, why not?
I think it would be. I did see someone on Twitter, and I don't have it in front of me, but I did see someone say, "Come down to Starkville, coach. We've got a heck of a challenge for you for Mississippi State." Like Nick Saban taking the Mississippi State job. Like, go ahead, have fun.
Well, it's like when you get the college football video game, let's take over this random team and see how long it takes me to get them to the top. Let's see Nick Saban work his magic there.
Just go to, I know that Tim Alvin just left OU.
Yeah, there you go.
Ohio University. Just do a real life dynasty mode. Road to glory.
He goes to Vanderbilt to really make them a team you actually fear playing every year.
That was Nick Saban's long con of saying everywhere is very tough in the SEC to play road games except Vanderbilt. And now he's just being introduced after Clark Lee gets fired after being named SEC Coach of the Year.
What if he coaches a different sport?
Oh, yeah. I think he'd be a great golf coach. He just gets to ride around in his hat.
He just starts coaching basketball.
Yeah, that'd be good, too. Bama seems to be doing fine. They don't...
Yeah, no, not there, but...
They don't need him. Yeah, I think he could probably do whatever he wants. It's patently ridiculous that Nick Saban would come back, but... I think Mississippi State would be my answer. Go down there and try to do what you did at Bama at Mississippi State. Then the title for greatest coach ever, future or past, is yours. Nate, what else you got for us tonight?
Our old pal Johnny Manziel was in the news the other day. He was on the Always College Football Show. And I was talking that if NIL existed when he was playing out at Texas A&M, he probably would have stayed in college instead of coming out early. I think no matter what, being in the NIL era, if that would have, been the equivalent of 2013, I would have stayed no matter what. $10 million or whatever it is, that goes more at College Station. It goes a long way. Because Johnny Manziel definitely was not making any money at Texas A&M.
I was going to say, I think you were in the NIL era, Johnny. It was just not above board, right?
Yes.
Then he gets suspended for a half or a game heading into his junior season after the Bama victory and the Heisman, right? That was a real thing.
Well, and then there's that documentary that came out that really didn't tell you a ton if you paid attention to the Johnny Manziel thing, but him and his dad talk about it in there.
What's his dad? Well, all right, so I didn't watch that documentary. I saw bits and pieces of it.
It's okay.
Because I just remember him being in college, this kid doesn't matter because his kids, his parents are like oil tycoons.
Yeah, it's like something like that.
But they weren't, right? They're not oil tycoons, and they're finally well off, but they're not some multiple extreme millionaires.
Yeah, they made it look like they were way better off than they were.
Was it just because he was making so much money down there at the time?
No, I mean they had they have a nice house and they've got 2 cars and they live out. I think it's out in sort of the middle of nowhere. So you have land and
out
things
in
like
Lufkin,
that.
Texas,
maybe.
But my drift.
I don't. I don't think that they're not just rolling in it like it kind of was perceived. But you do think about guys like that. We're watching the quarterback show, the NFL show on Netflix. And Joe Burrow, his mom's talking about how he always liked to dress in bright colors as a kid and stuff like that.
Clip.
And then they go and he has this stylist that comes and they talk about what he's going to wear for games and everything. And I'm like, Joe Burrow in the NIL era would have been interesting because it's in college he was just wearing T-shirts and hoodies or whatever. But imagine Joe Burrow rolling up to these LSU games and this. He bought a Batmobile. He had to get rid of. He had to cancel it because of something.
What if he just showed up in Batman's outfit?
That they talk about that on the show.
Do they?
Yeah, it's him, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins talking about that he bought this, and he was like, I think I have to buy a full Batman suit.
He does. He has to buy Christian Bale's outfit from Lucius that he designed for him.
I think he should do the older one that you can't turn your head. George Clooney, that era.
Oh, the one with the neck where you just have to turn your whole body.
Right, and the nipples.
Yeah.
It had nipples.
I just find this whole story funny because the story that came out was his dad was negotiating a $3 million deal with A&M to keep him in college for those extra couple of years.
Yeah,
to begin with.
Yeah, it's no different. It's just now that it's above board, and maybe you could have made more money than what you already did when you were in college. How about Nick Saban when he takes over at Mississippi State, brings in Johnny Manziel to be his quarterback's coach?
Love it. Yeah. I don't know how that would work. I hope at this point in Johnny's life he's calmed down a little, but I don't know. He's been out of the media, so I imagine he's not doing anything that crazy recently.
What burning questions is Pat yearning to find out when Buckeye Camp starts here in a few weeks? We're going to do that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.44%, APR 6.47% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner.
The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
We're sending Austin and Berm to Vegas for Big Ten Media Day, and they're sharing a double bed. Hear from Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Ryan Day. It all comes your way Tuesday, July 22nd on YouTube and the 10 TV Plus app.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A little sunshine, otherwise warm and humid. Just the risk of a shower or storm on this Monday. Temperatures in the mid-80s, down to around 70 overnight with cleared skies and a dry start to the day. And for Tuesday afternoon, a bit warmer and more humid, and the chance of a late day shower or storm Tuesday with highs near 90. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
We're very close to Buckeye football. Very close. Uncomfortably close. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Coming up here at 7:30 this evening, the venerable Joshua Perry. He's going to join the program. Very excited to get to talk to JP. It's been a while since I've chatted with him, so talk about all things media days coming up in Vegas next week. We got Buckeye Camp right around the horizon. Pat, we were talking a little bit last week when we were at Yogi's in Grandview. Some of your burning questions about this Ohio State team as we get into fall camp. We'll be back at Yogi's on Thursday in Grandview again if you want to come out and hang out with us 6 to 8 on Thursday. But what else are you looking at from camp storylines, overall arching themes, coaching, players, strategies, just kind of everything going on right now?
Outside of the stuff we've covered a lot this summer, the quarterback, right tackle, the open positions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really interested to see more from Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much we'll actually learn until the games kick off, because how much of fall camp are we going to get to see when they're really
5 days, right?
But what is that going to look like is really interesting, man. Because we've heard a lot about, okay, he's so good at like identifying these guys and sort of building the defense around the guys. And I think we know who they are, like Sonny, Caleb, but is that the way he views it? Like, just because they're the star players that are returning, or those? Well,
I mean,
guys?
I would have to think. I mean, Matt Patricia's been around football for a long time. You get a player like Caleb Downs, like we're gonna
you figure out
try to do what's best for you and what's best for the team, building around number 2.
Right. So, what does that look like? How does that fit within the general Ryan Day scheme that he wants? I imagine he gives someone like Matt Patricia a decent amount of leeway there to figure it out, but. you also are inserting quite a few new pieces in there. And, we've talked Jermaine Matthews, Arvell Reese, like the defensive ends. Like a lot of these guys have played a good amount as backups, but this is a whole different role, right? And now you're asking them to play under a guy who has coached at the highest level of the sport. So, like, how does this all fit together, I think? And again, we probably don't know that until they get out there for Texas. But maybe we get some insight.
What a way to start the season.
Yeah, right. And that's an interesting, probably something that comes up at Media Day, or at least as we head into fall camp. How different do you approach the start of the season if you were Ryan Day? Last year the whole talk was we got to build throughout the season. It's
brick
like an NFL
by brick,
season,
right?
Yes. Well, now you come out week one with maybe the number one team in the country coming to your place as you are the defending
20
national
million
champions.
people are going to be watching this game.
Yeah. So look, we talked about it last week. Like a loss there doesn't end your season, like it may have at one point in time, but I think you want to win that game, right?
Well, yeah, you want to win that game.
So,
breaking news, Pat Murphy says, I think you want to win the Texas game.
Yeah. I don't know if people have paid attention to that, but no, but
that's one hot take there.
That's what I'm here for.
Hey, it's okay. I called I said the other day, I'm like, where's the Pinstripe Bowl? Fenway? Austin's like, you just think about that for a half a second. I'm like, Pinstripe Bowl, Fenway. No, those two don't really go hand in hand. It must be in the Bronx.
But how much do you change the way you handle last year, they didn't play. I mean, Michigan State was week 4 on the road. That
First
was
road game.
Sort of tough, but really it was that Oregon game 6 weeks into the season.
Yeah, I mean, you got Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall all at home.
So how does your approach change in fall camp when you have to be ready to go? Bullets are flying, all the whatever expression you want to use week 1. And I think that's interesting because I don't think Ryan's really had to deal with much of that. I know they've had some early season games, that TCU game, things like that, but
Notre Dame was the third week of the season, or maybe the second week of the season.
I guess they did open with Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, they did. They did at home, right?
Yes.
That was the season opener.
Yes, but even that, like, I get frustrated when people last year when we're talking about Coach Day and can't win. People are saying he can't win the big game, and they discount Notre Dame because I don't know why. But
they beat them 3 times in 3 years.
I will say, Texas is a different animal. Now, I know you just played Notre Dame in the national championship game. But
they played Texas the game before that and beat them.
Yes, and that was probably the most competitive game they played in the whole playoff. I know the Notre Dame score was a little bit closer in the end, but
it didn't feel like it.
No, not at all. For me, like, this is as big of an opener as I can think of in some time. The Notre Dame was big.
The Notre Dame one was massive, and also, too, that had the added allure that it was night, and you were there that day. Like, it was the star of stars. Like, everybody was at that game. Recruiting profile, celebrities, athletes like LeBron, and Jason Tatum on the sideline. Like, it was just...
I looked to my left, and Jason Tatum was standing next to me.
Why are you here?
He was there with Evan Turner.
Oh,
which made sense, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's right. They were getting some shots up over at the shot, right?
But offensively, like, I think it is kind of the stuff we've talked about pretty much all summer. You got to figure out this quarterback thing. We were touching on it last week. How long does this go? Obviously, that's not something Ryan Day can tell us. You can't decide beforehand, hey, I'm going to cut it off 2 weeks. Like, these guys have to decide. One guy's got to win the job. But
you don't know that.
Well, I guess not.
A couple of years ago, we're running Kyle McCord and Devin Brown a couple of weeks into the season.
Yeah, that's fair. But the tight end stuff we talked about last week. Okay, how do you integrate a guy like Max Clare into this offense when you haven't had a guy like that is now another weapon for you guys? How deep are you going to go at running back? And again, these are questions that I don't think you can answer at Big Ten Media Days. Those are things that are going to happen as you go through fall camp.
Yeah, they'll happen naturally.
Yes, but it is... There's a lot of intrigue, I think, with this team. Just coming off a national championship, so many guys that are gone, so many guys stepping into bigger roles. And the nice thing is, I think, for most Buckeye fans, passionate Buckeye fans that really pay attention, it's not just like a whole bunch of new names. Like, you've seen a lot of these guys before, so you're at least somewhat familiar.
Yeah, on the Matt Patricia front, I am excited to see, because Ryan Day's come out and he said, like, it's going to be the same language. And Matt Patricia said this, like, I'm learning the language that they learned here. So I'm not coming in and implementing, a whole new, he's implementing a whole new playbook, but they're going to take the language that Jim Knowles and the defense was using, just so it's easier on the Ohio State players. But I am just so fascinated to see when they get into fall camp and they realize, like, okay, what's your strength? What's your weakness? Like, how different that looks from the last 3 years under Jim Knowles. Like, I think it's going to look similar, But I also think with Matt Patricia's ability and coaching knowledge, that you could see this team be way more multiple in fronts than what they have been the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think from the untrained eye, if you just watch football for fun with your buddies or whatever.
Just having a couple of Coors Lights.
Yes. I think you're going to look at this defense and, they're going to play mostly out of that 4-2-5, and it's going to look a lot of the same. I think for people that dive into it a bit more, you and I, and there's people that obviously do it at an even more detailed level, there are going to be things it's like, ooh, what?
That's new.
Yeah, especially if you're watching it on TV, as it happens, sitting there in the press box, if you're at the stadium, whatever it may be, like, wait a second, hit the rewind button if you're watching on TV. Like, what did they do there? Why is this guy there and not where he normally is? I think there'll be stuff like that. And look, again, talking about Texas, I think we'll see it week 1. It's not like last year where we were waiting. You
can't hold the cards, No. I mean, it's the first game of the year, Brent.
No, and you're going to evolve throughout the season. We saw it last year, too. After the Oregon loss, things will look different by the end of the year defensively as everyone gets more comfortable. And it's like, ooh, maybe we didn't think about this that might work better here.
Or maybe this is crap. We'd throw this away.
Right. So, but if there's somebody that I trust doing it, having now gotten to talk to Matt Patricia, seen him interact with the guys, I think the biggest thing for me was at the coaches clinic that they do every year before the spring game. Mm-hmm. And at the end of that, for like the last 45 minutes, they have each position coach has a whiteboard, and it's him and his assistant, and the coaches can walk around and sit and talk with them and ask questions. And the way he's just like drawn stuff up, you can tell how intelligent he is, but he makes it simple, football simple.
Yeah,
right?
Meredith's mom always says, keep it simple, stupid.
Yes, and I think he's really good at that. And that's important because we saw, if you think back to like early Greg Schiano, when they tried to do some NFL stuff, and it was just too complicated for guys that aren't used to that at this point. And look, there's plenty of smart guys on this defense. So
yeah,
I
there
think
is, but it's also to that point, like, and I'm not breaking any news here other than you saying that you want to try to win the Texas game.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
But, getting paid handsomely to be in the NFL, like, that's your life. Not to say that playing at Ohio State isn't your life.
Yeah, especially these days.
Yes, you're right. And,
it is different.
Some of these guys are getting, crazy amounts of money, and all these players are getting paid to a certain extent, but like it is, you live it, you breathe it in the NFL. And so you hear some of their play calls. I'm like, I don't even know. I couldn't even remember half of those if I had to recite it. And so to come in, and Matt Patricia obviously has a bevy of knowledge, to come in and keep it as simple, but as useful as possible for these guys, I think is his main task. From not being in college football for a long time, it may be, maybe it takes some time, maybe it doesn't. But from what you're sounding like, when you got a chance to talk to him and see him interact, it's good to know that he can take some very grandiose ideas, shrink it down in his own head, and then spit it out to something that these kids will understand.
Right. And look, he dealt with rookies every year, right? And you have to make those guys, you get those guys up to speed to the NFL level. So it's not like this is entirely new. And obviously those are the best of the best getting drafted and whatnot. But I think he completely grasps the task at hand. And I think advantage Buckeyes, when we're talking about that Texas game, they don't know what's coming defensively from a Matt Patricia defense. I mean,
but you don't know what's coming from Arch Manning.
Well, that's true. I mean, but at least you've seen some.
They don't
of that,
know what's
right?
coming from Lincoln Keenholz or Julian Sayed.
Yeah.
Have fun, everyone.
What if you line up with 4 tight ends and 2 running backs in the backfield? I don't know if that math makes sense.
Hey, Matt, if you're out there listening, coach, 46 front. All right? Do it the same thing Virginia Tech did, and then just don't use it again all year.
Yeah, just that game.
God, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah. Urban Meyer's never seen a bear front.
No, like, what do we do? What do we do against this?
I could never get over that.
No, and then they tried it next year and just got slaughtered. Virginia Tech did. Forever lives Braxton and his spin move in that game. Joshua Perry, he's going to join the program. We'll talk some camp and Big Ten Media Days with him coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Get too hot?
My phone.
Oh, your phone. Should've known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Boating
Skiing season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Someone out there probably thinks we spend too much time talking about the Buckeyes. Please tell someone that they're stupid. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
Hanging out with my guy Pat Murphy tonight. Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our guy. He is Joshua Perry. JP, what's been happening? How's everybody doing? How's the fam doing?
Everybody's good. Just getting settled in here. I feel like, we all live the same life. So we moved back into this house and getting stuff unpacked still and doing some projects. I got a garage fridge delivered today, though. And so that's like the highlight of my week so far.
What do you plan on keeping in said garage fridge, Joshua?
Various beverages, of course.
Good answer.
Everything from protein shakes to high noons to Coors Light, like you name it, I'll have it in there.
Yeah, you're a good man. I'm excited for you. Send me a picture when you get that bad boy fully stocked, because I would like to see whatever is in the Perry garage refrigerator. Joshua, we are not on the brink or the eve, but next week we got Big Ten Media Days out in Las Vegas. Pat's very excited to go. I know Austin and the guys are all excited to go out there for 4 or 5 days. Just to you, overarching theme in the Big Ten, what are you most excited to hear from either players or coaches when we get to that next week?
Yeah, it's been an exciting 2 years in the Big Ten, obviously going back-to-back with champions, and I think a lot of people believe Penn State could be next up in that realm. So just hearing from them and what they believe their visions and their aspirations are. But with the expanded playoff, there'll be a lot of contenders from the conference. The interesting thing, I think, is a lot of the teams that would be usual suspects in the Big Ten had some roster turnover, in particular at the quarterback position. So how do they feel about their prospects heading into this year? What are they saying about the learning curve and maybe how much ground they have to cover in training camp to be ready for the beginning of the year? And then you've got that middle tier right now that I think is intriguing. And what I mean by that is Illinois is a team that a lot of people have said they believe can make the college football playoff this year out of the Big Ten. Very veteran, particular on offense. Got some great players, some back on defense. Another one, just looking at the schedules, for me was Nebraska, where Dylan Raiola, can he take another step this year? But their schedule sets up for them to be able to have some success. I could see them, things line up the way that they need to, going out there and winning 10 games this year. So I think it'll be competitive. The middle seems like it's going to be competitive, which is going to boost the conference up in a lot of ways. So I'm excited to hear about where everybody thinks they are at this point in the year.
You mentioned Dylan Raiola, and good to talk with you, Joshua. What do you see out of a year two guy who got all that experience in year one, had some success, maybe not as much as those in Nebraska hoped, but what do you see out of a guy like that coming back in the quarterback position?
There's a lot of talent there, and I think he had his moments as a first-year starter. It's a hard thing to step in as a freshman and be expected to take a program like Nebraska, which has a lot of history, and bring it back. But he certainly had some good moments there. You could see the arm talent there. Played with maturity at times, too. You can look at the game that he played against Ohio State, like not a guy who can rush, but he kind of had that clock on where he said, okay, I'm going to go through my progression. If it's not there, I'm going to pull the ball down and try to run a little bit, and was able to get some yards that way. That's kind of where the game needs to continue to evolve, is just playing with that savvy that a talented kid can play with. The other thing, and it's like the thing that people want to talk about with him, but you got to be a quarterback at some point, and less about maybe the look of it and the social media part of it, and that comes with growing up.
What are you talking about? What are you referencing?
I'm talking about the mini Mahomes thing that everybody knows about, and all the outfits and the sunglasses and whatnot. Like it's a real thing. Your quarterback's got to be your guy, but I think that comes along with maturity too. Like you get in there and like you get over the fact that you're the big man on campus, and you start to realize that you have to make plays. And so if that part of his game comes along too, just in terms of really committing to the grind of it, the sky is the limit for a guy like him. And as I mentioned, they got a schedule that sets up that if he can take a big step, they'll be successful this year.
It got a little weird towards the end of the year. To your point, it got a little strange. It was fun at the beginning, and then it got a little weird as we check in with Joshua Perry here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Hey, whose preseason hype are you buying more, Penn State's or Illinois'?
Man, it's a hard one for me, because I think Brett Bielema is one of the best coaches in college football, and I don't think we talk about him that way. But I've been on campus enough, and he's been gracious every time I've been there. He'll let me sit in meetings, and when we sit down to talk with him, he's pretty candid with us as people in media just about how he runs his program. And so I think him with the veteran team is really dangerous. But here's the thing about it, though. Penn State's got just talent across the board. Like, that's going to be the biggest difference, even with a veteran Illinois team, is Penn State they've got guys. They recruit at a really high level. There's the James Franklin question about, like, can he win a big game? And I'm just curious, like, with everything that he's going to have this year, like, I think they probably can. It's one of those things where he hasn't lost a bunch of games that he was supposed to win. He just hasn't won the ones that he wasn't supposed to win, if that makes sense. And so I think veteran quarterback, two-headed monster at running back. And then on defense, they're going to be strong through the middle. I think Zane Durant's a dog. It's one of their defensive tackles. And then Denai Dennis Sutton on the edge is going to be somebody who can create havoc. Like, I am kind of buying this hype that Penn State, especially coming off of last year, where they made it deep in the playoffs, can have that big year that their fans think they can.
Looking out the teams that joined last year out west, and it's still a little weird to talk about an Oregon winning the Big Ten, but how do you think the Ducks bounce back? And Washington didn't have the year they wanted, UCLA, USC. Just what do you make of those teams out, the old Pac-12 teams?
I'll be intrigued. I like Damon Williams from Washington, the quarterback. He's electric with his legs. He's got a pretty strong arm. And Jed Fish is a really good offensive coach. So, I think they can take a step. They're positioned to be able to do it. It's odd because, again, nobody's kind of looking at them. It's not a team that when you think of Big Ten, who's in the mix, like Washington doesn't come to mind. For Oregon, Dante Moore had a really interesting path to get to where he's going to be this year, where he goes into UCLA and he plays and it's not very good. And he decides that he's going to go transfer to a place where he's going to have to sit and learn. And I think that development's important, but there's still a lot of questions about who he's going to be as a player. Oregon, again, very talented around him, but they have the quarterback question. And then the big one for me is USC. And I think this is a huge year for Lincoln Riley. Now, his buyout, I've been told, is outrageous, like prohibitive. So I don't know if it gets to that point, but I think people out west are really starting to ask the question, is this the guy for the program? They still need to take a step on defense. They're going to be replacing a quarterback this year. Like, there are a lot of questions about what USC will be this year. And again, another program that has a ton of history, and people know what it feels like there when they're playing really good ball. So I think there are a lot of questions out there on the West Coast. I think Oregon's probably in the best spot out of the teams out that way. But I'll be looking early this year just to see how everybody comes out the gates, because there's going to be so much newness when it comes to the rosters and how they approach this year.
Yeah, reportedly, Joshua, I think it's like an $80-ish million buyout for Lincoln Riley at USC, which, to your words, is very prohibitive, especially nowadays in college football when you're trying to find every penny under the couch cushion. Let's look at Buckeyes here. So camp starts in about 2.5 weeks. They'll go to Las Vegas next week. You'll have Jeremiah, you'll have Caleb, you'll have Sonny, you'll have Coach Day out there, and then they get back here to the Woody. Overall interest in Ohio State when they start camp, to you, what is most interesting?
What they sound like. And what I mean by that is I was a guy who won a championship and then came back the next year. And training camp feels different when you're a champ. Like you feel more confident. You have a little bit more bounce to your step. But I think that my team probably took things a little bit too lightly. I think we might have taken things for granted at times. And this Ohio State squad coming into this year, I think, has a different approach in that because they lost so much. We had so many guys returning that we just knew we were going to be good. And, you know, Ezekiel Elliott's coming back like we're going to be great. And Mike Thomas is coming back. You go down the list of guys. And I think they're looking around a little bit and saying, okay, like, we know what it feels like to be champs. We know we feel good. That's going to give us a little bit of juice. And we have the confidence because we know how to get there. But we're going to have to get there with some guys who maybe didn't contribute as much. And so just how they talk about that approach mentally for a team that we know is going to be really talented, I'm very intrigued by.
To be fair to you, you guys were pretty good. You were pretty good at that season.
All right.
Yeah, no,
you did okay.
Yeah, you were just fine. You guys did all right. Hey, before we get you out of here, Nick Saban apparently wants to get back into coaching. Ideal destination in college football for him if he should return, which he's not. But where do you want to see him coach at?
I don't even know, dude. Like, I'd love to see it. Like, I love Saban. He's a guy who, like, I'm very intrigued by. Like, I want to sit down one-on-one and just ask him a million questions. But, like, there doesn't seem to be a spot where I'm like, oh, Saban should go there. So it might be like a build a UNC thing where somebody's just like, hey, let's come up with $10 million and see if we can just, like, get a championship coach in here. So if he does return, it might be like the most random spot you could ever think of.
Yeah, Pat said Kent State earlier, and I said down in Starkville at Mississippi State. You want to have fun in the SEC? Like, you build a national champion down at Mississippi State? Then congratulations to you, sir. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for popping on with us here this evening. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy Media Days next week, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
All right, appreciate you guys.
There he goes, our guy, Joshua Perry, here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Great stuff out of him, as always. We'll finish out the program. Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
They were national champs on the football field, but how far can they hit a softball? Find out at the Monogram Homes Cardale Jones Charity Softball Game.
Presented by the Ohio State University Army ROTC. Saturday, July 19th at Huntington Park.
Bring the whole family and watch Team Cardale battle Team Braxton Miller. Don't miss the Home Run Derby and see stars like Ted Ginn Jr. and Maurice Claret. Get your tickets at 971thefan.com. Do it now.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the off-season. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue we actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Get you to the Home Run Derby coming up here at 8 o'clock. Before we do that, we here on the Buckeye Show brought to you by our great friends over at Coors Light. When those mountains turn blue, you know those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. Seems like a good evening to have one. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Go to the YouTube chat. Nate said, who would be more successful, Bill Belichick with North Carolina or Nick Saban with the Browns?
Nick Saban with the Browns.
Yeah, you think?
I think so.
2.0, his return to the NFL?
I think this North Carolina thing is going to go very poorly.
Do you? You think it's going to go bad?
Yeah.
Friendly reminder how the Nick Saban in the NFL thing went the last time.
Yeah, no, it didn't go great.
Well, right, but I think he's learned from it. Also, the Browns' expectations are so low.
Yeah, so what, are we saying more wins in a season, or are you saying expectations compared to your fan bases? Because I'm not really sure I don't know the last time I've talked to a North Carolina football fan. I don't know what their expectations are compared to the expectations of every year of the Cleveland Browns.
Right. And I think that, with North Carolina, the pressure's off. You've got basketball, that's king there. There will be more expectations this year, no doubt. You brought in Bill Belichick. You paid him a lot of money.
What's their schedule looking like?
That's a good question. I just don't know. We talked about it with Matt Patricia, making the adjustment to college. I don't think that that's going to work well with Bill Belichick. And you've already seen these issues before you even get on the field.
What issues are you talking about? They're not issues, Pat. It's love.
It's love. Yeah. That's one way to put it. Well, hopefully he loves his players like that. But yeah, I would
not
say
like that, but
I would say I would go with the Browns and Nick Saban. Plus, I don't know. I don't have a good reason beyond that.
I just have a hard time thinking the Browns are going to be any good ever, just for what they've done in my lifetime and our old producer Shark, what they've done in his lifetime, and just every lifetime.
Well, I'm not saying good. I'm just saying I think Nick Saban could at least get them
flirting with the playoffs.
To be fair,
7 wins is better than 2 wins.
That's true. To be fair, it wasn't that long ago that they were in the playoffs with Baker Mayfield. So.
Yeah, they got a win in the playoffs in Pittsburgh. You did it. And you were a third down scramble away from almost beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
I'm sad you haven't asked me about the poll today.
Oh, the fan poll?
Yes.
All right, so our fan poll on 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. And I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to forget it. I was at the bottom of my prep sheet, and I always put the fan poll at the top of my prep sheet, which then leads to me a lot of times forgetting to say it and then just doing it tomorrow. If you could only watch one of these actors' catalogs for the rest of your life, who would you choose? Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, or Harrison Ford?
So I saw the initial...
How would you rank them?
I saw the initial fan poll, and I immediately went Harrison Ford just because of Star Wars.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. But then I started thinking about the other movies. I would go Harrison Ford, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise.
I would go Hanks number one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hanks is number one for me.
Unless you are like a huge Mission Impossible
Which I'm not.
fan.
Like, it's fun. I've seen a lot of them. I don't think I've seen all of them. Like, those are fun movies to put on, but I don't hold Mission Impossibles like in the same realms as I hold the James Bond movies. Like, if you gave me the full James Bond catalog, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
You also Top Gun, obviously. He's
Yeah,
in both
and
of
Maverick.
those. Yep. So I think it's a good question. That's why I
Good
was
job,
excited
Bodie.
when you put it on here. But yeah, I'm going with Star Wars, Indiana Jones. To me, I just rewatched the original 3 Indiana Jones movies.
All very good.
Yeah. Now they go downhill quick after
The
that.
only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Nate, you're a big movie guy. Who would you pick?
I
here?
have the same rankings. It's Ford, Hanks, Cruise.
Okay, so we're all Tom Cruise in third.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, he's doing just fine.
I mean, you get a few good men with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, very good.
But I mean,
Show me the money.
I'm not putting
Jerry
him above,
Maguire's in there for Cruise.
I'm not putting him above Harrison Ford's best or Tom Hanks' best.
I'll tell
no
you
way.
what. Yeah. Is it out? Why am I blanking on the movie with Tom Hanks when he's sitting there with the volleyball? It's not
Castaway.
Castaway. I was gonna say Outcast. I'm like, it's a band, dude. It's not even close. The Castaway. Castaway is my movie that it's between that and Shawshank. Like, if it's on and I have nothing else to watch, like, it's going on the TV. I've already seen that movie 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Mean Girls, that's one that I do. I know that has nothing to do with these 3 people. I was once in college sitting around on a Friday night at my buddy's house.
That's your flipping on movie?
Yeah. If
Everyone's got a flipping on movie or show.
Like Superbad 2.
Yeah.
The 21 and 22 Jump Streets, I will watch regularly.
Okay.
But I was sitting around at a college on a Friday night having some Coors Lights with some buddies at a friend's house. And it was NBA regular season basketball on one channel or Mean Girls, and the 6 or 7 of us there unanimously picked Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen Mean Girls.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen.
What are you doing after this?
Coming to your house to watch Mean Girls, or you can come to ours.
We'll go get Meredith.
I know she's a big Mean Girls gal. Yeah, she loves it.
I even saw the remake, which was not great.
Wasn't it just a remake of the same movie?
It was the musical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they had songs.
I'm not a big
in it.
musical guy.
Yeah, I am, but it was just fine.
Yeah. Castaway's good. Big is a terrific movie.
Tom Hanks, I don't know if
Captain
there's a bad,
Phillips is
I don't know if there's a bad Tom Hanks movie.
terrific. Yeah, Road to Perdition, Tom Hanks is in that one too.
Yep.
That's a
Of course,
solid
all the
one.
Toy Stories.
Toy Stories,
Yeah,
that'd be huge for Willie. He's really into Toy Story right now. Big Buzz, Little Buzz, Woody, Zurg, whole gang.
Harrison Ford's also started to do some TV, or at least like street, like
He's in that show with Jason Segel on Apple.
Shrinking. Yeah.
That's Meredith watched that. It's okay.
I loved it.
There was a little too much drama in there for
There's
me.
a lot of drama.
It was just the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I also watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, so drama's kind of up my alley.
See, no, that's a great show. I've only watched about a half an hour of that show, but if I'm throwing on trashy TV, is that on Bravo?
No, I don't know. It's on
Bravo's
Hulu.
got the king of trash TV right now.
They've got what's the boat one?
Below
Deck.
See, that's my show. That's my show on Bravo.
I've only seen some of those.
Like, you want to melt your mind away faster than any other thing on planet Earth, just sit in front of the TV and watch Bravo all day, and your mind will start eating itself.
Yeah. You got to find something better to do if you have all day to.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you got to find. Yeah, you can't just be watching Bravo all day. Come on. Maybe watch some home run derby or something tonight. Get yourself off the Bravo channel.
This was just insight into what Beam and I do when we sit at the bar.
Yeah,
this
that's
is just
it,
the conversation.
Yeah,
Nate got to join in.
The best part about watching soccer is that you get to be like, you can actively watch if you want, or you can just have these stupid conversations for 2 hours and cheer when a goal is scored, or just be disappointed when a goal is scored against you. That's all this is.
Pretty much it.
That's all it is. I'm thinking of my other shows. Mythbusters is a big show for me that I'll just flip on.
I can throw on Mythbusters at any point.
Yeah, I think I've seen every episode with Adam and Jamie. I never watched the new guys, the new cast.
The other ones don't matter.
Yeah, I think I've seen every episode like at least 3 or 4 times. Like I just constantly cycle through Mythbusters.
For me, it was like depending on what they were doing in that show.
At the very end, they were doing some like very big science.
Yes, it got pretty interesting.
Yeah, it did. What are you doing tonight? Anything?
No. I have to. I'm gonna do another. Well, I'm gonna do a podcast.
So you are doing something.
Well, I'm just doing it from home.
Why don't you tell the people what podcast you're doing?
It's the Massive Report podcast. We're gonna talk about this epic Hell is Real win for the Crew. It'll be out tomorrow on all your podcast platforms. If that's
what was the stadium like when they scored that third goal and then Taha's fourth?
A funny story on the third goal. I was looking down at my phone, and like everyone around me goes nuts. And I looked up. I had no idea how it got scored, what happened. I just started hugging people, made some friends to my left because I was at the end of our like little. No, it was all Crew fans. Yeah, it was nuts down there, and it was the rain delay, so they kind of put us into the concourse. As the Cincinnati people
like gladiators.
It was just, and the Crew put out some social media stuff, but it was there was a lot of chanting going on as the Cincinnati fans, and you're on the opposite side of their crazy section, so it's just like these people are just like, hey, I just came out to a game. Why am I getting yelled at?
Yeah, why am I being accosted right now by all these Crew fans?
Yeah,
was it a fire drill?
It did get to that point. Yeah. Yes, it did. They did leave very quickly. By the fourth goal for sure, and some people may have left before, but yeah, go Crew.
Pat, had a great time tonight. I'll talk to you again Thursday at Yogi's.
Thursday
right?
at Yogi's.
Austin in tomorrow and Wednesday and on Friday. You guys did a little swap-roo. Everybody have an awesome night. Austin is in with us tomorrow. Home Run Derby is up next right here on The Fan.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants. The pervert and the skivvies. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, save big on Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts. They're only $2.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.